morning. Let me get my finish setting things up here real quick. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Dog. All right. Okay. That on. All right. Got to take my medicine again. All right. You're ready. Okay. White or black? So, hey, Prime, good morning. Let's go over, I think we'll go over the spoilers first. Let me load them up real quick. And bring them up. Well, hmm. Let me see something. Oh, egg blanket. Put it right there. Okay. Well, yes. All right, there we go. Nice. Egg blanket. You released a lot of cards. This is all yesterday, though. Hmm. Okay, we're gonna go over yesterday's spoilers first again. So some of them are they released more. Okay. First of all, we have Marion Safe House. As long as Marion Safe House is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all land cards and all graveyards. That could be something. Next up, we have Necrogen Rot Priest. For 2 black and a green. Creature, Phyrexian Zombie Cleric. Toxic 2. Whenever a creature you control with Toxic deals damage to a player, that player gets an additional poison counter. Interesting. And for 1 black and green, target creature you control with Toxic gains Death Touch until end of turn. Not bad. Now then we got Minor Misstep. I don't think this card will get any play. Just because it costs 1 blue, instant, counter target spell with mana value 1 or less. I mean, there's better counters out there than this in standard right now. Next up, we have Resistance Reunited. For 1 and a white, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Not bad. Then your equipped creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. I don't think that's too bad at all. Next up, we have Carnivorous Canopy for 2 and a green. Sorcery. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. And then if that permanent has mana value of 3 or less, you get to proliferate, which is not bad. Then Hex Gold Slash for 1 red, instant. Hex Gold Slash deals 2 damage to target creature. Then if that creature has Toxic, it deals 4 damage to it instead. Interesting. You know, people's gonna be playing that Toxic quite a bit. Shoot, my vape's almost out of the room. Then we have, for 1 and a black, Anoint with Affliction. It's instant. Exile target creature that has mana value of 3 or less. Now, it also has the ability of Corrupted. And if your opponent has 3 poison counters, then you get to exile any creature on the battlefield with Anoint with Affliction. Not bad. Then we have 1 and 2 blue enchantment or enchant creature. When memorizing dose enters a battlefield, tap enchanted creature, then proliferate. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So you can permanently lock down a creature. And if they have and then if you can get to proliferate. Then we have a target removal for 2 and a white instant. This spell costs 3 more to cast if it targets a creature, though. So it costs 6 mana to use this for a creature. Then you can target anything else, and you exile target non-land permanent. So yeah, it's not bad. Target removal for like artifacts, planeswalkers. So yeah. Next up, we have Nimrazor Paladin for 4 generics, 1 black. Phyrexian Knight, 4/4. With Toxic 2. When Nimrazor Paladin enters the battlefield, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, that's pretty good reoccursion. I mean, reanimate something from your graveyard back into your hand. Not too bad. I need to step across the room, grab my vape. I'll be right back in just one little second. Okay. Next up, we have Trinanax Rex for 7. The 8/8 for 7. This spell cannot be countered as Trample, Ward, 4, and Haste. And also has Toxic 4. So, if it does damage to your opponent, they automatically get 4 poison counters. Not bad. Next up, we have a dragon. Phyrexian Dragon. Kypros Hellraiser for 6. And this spell costs 3 less to cast if you have 9 cards in your graveyard. It has flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile 3 cards at random from your graveyard. Choose a non-creature, non-link card from among them, and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Now, if you build around this, it ain't going to be a bad card at all. Then after that, we got Evolved Spinoderm for 4. Evolved, it's a 5/5. Evolved Spinoderm enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. Evolved Spinoderm has trample as long as it has 2 or fewer oil counters on it. Otherwise, it has hexproof. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you remove 1 oil counter from it. Then once you get rid of all the oil counters from it, you had to sacrifice it. Next up, for 7 mana, we have Atraxa Grand Unifier for 3 generics, green, white, blue, and black. Legendary creature Phyrexian Angel with flying, vigilance, death touch, and lifelink. That's pretty good. The only thing it's missing is haste. Anyway, it's a 7/7. And when it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. And for each card type, you may put 1 card of that type into your hand and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So that you get artifacts, creature, enchantment, instant, land, planeswalker, or sorcery. And a new card that they're trying to introduce into the Magic community is Battle. I have not seen a battle card yet, but I'm interested in finding out what a battle card is. And now we just jump down to December 5th. December was not a good month for me. All right. There we go. Whoa. All right. Next up, we have Sword of Forge and Frontier for 3. Artifact equipment. Equipped creatures you get. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and green. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. And you may play an extra land this turn. Equip cost is 2. It's okay. Not too bad. Alright, next up we have Swooping Lookout. 1 whites. Artifact creature. Phyrexian construct with flying and vigilance. 1/2. Kinda weak because you got spells in standard right now like cut down. It's the die to cut down. But it's a flyer. It can fly over your opponent's ground creatures. Oh yeah, it might be alright. Next up, for 1 white, we had Sinew Dancer. Phyrexian Soldier. The 1/1. And it costs 1 white. And for 4 white, 3 generics and 1 white, you can tap this creature and tap target creature. Now, if your opponent has 3 poison counters, you tap 1 white and tap this creature to tap your opponent's creature. It's okay. Now, for 6, our next card is Apostle of Invasion for 6. Phyrexian Angel, the 4/4 with flying, and for Corrupted. If your opponent has Corrupted, which is 3 poison counters, this card has Double Strike. So if your opponent has no flyers and they have 3 poison counters, you can hit your opponent for 8 with this Apostle of Invasion. Not bad. Next up, we have a Double Strike with Toxic 1. Jawbone Duelist. For 1 generic, 1 white, to 1/1 with Double Strike. Not bad. So you might as well say it has Toxic 2, because every time it hits your opponent, they get a poison counter. That is if it hits your opponent. Next up, we have Noxus Assault. 3 generic and 2 green. So it's 5. It's a sorcery. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature blocks this turn, its controller gets a poison counter. Ooh. Nice sorcery to get put poison counters on your opponent's creatures if they block. Dang. Next up is a card that's kind of hard to read. Kind of blurry. Plus it's in foreign language too. It's against all odds for 3 generic and 1 white. Sorcery. Choose 1 or both. Exile target artifact or creature that you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it has a blink effect. And then the other ability is return target artifact or creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so it's reanimate plus blink. Not too bad. I wish I could see the art a little bit better. Dagblag it. Dagblag it. Find him back up there. Okay, another one that's in foreign language. Three, white, white. So for five, it's a Phyrexian angel with flying. When Baliska Pastor enters the battlefield, create two 1/1 token artifact creatures, Phyrexian Might, with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. So this is a 3/3 for 5. Yeah, and you get two tokens that cannot block, but they have Toxic 1. Ah, it's okay. I mean, it's a flyer. It's a 3/3. Costs 5. Creates two tokens. Eh, it's not too bad. I mean, it's just like, to me, it seems like just an okay card. Dang, Blaggett. All right, next up, Blaggett, another foreign, is for 2 and a white. Might's Burden. Instant. Choose one. Might's Burden deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. Or you can create two colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1, and this creature can block. Eh. Well, yeah, seems alright. I mean, say your opponent has a planeswalker down on the battlefield and it's down to 3, and you got 4 creatures on the battlefield. You play this for 3 white, and you can kill that planeswalker. Dang, Blaggett. That's one thing about this site. It jumps you around. All right, next up, another foreign card. 1 white, Crawling Chorus, creature, Phyrexian Horror, with Toxic 1. And when Crawling Chorus dies, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. So it replaces itself. Not bad, since it replaces itself. Next, we have 1 and a white, Deep Faith Duelist. 1 white, Phyrexian Soldier, Toxic 1. Deep Faith Duelist has first strike during your turn. It's a 2/2. So, yeah, it can protect itself during your turn. It has first strike. Yeah, I like that. I mean, since it has first strike, I mean, it's not a good blocker, but it's a good attacker. Now we have Bleak Raptor, 2 and a white. Phyrexian Bird with flying, Toxic 1. When Bleak Raptor enters the battlefield, another target creature you control gains toxic and gains +1/+1 and flying until end of turn. Not bad. So this comes in with Summoning Sickness, but another creature you control gains flying +1/+1 and toxic. I guess it's toxic 1. And can go ahead and attack. Yeah, pretty good card for that. Okay. Figure out where I was. Alright. For 2 and a white, artifact equipment or Mirrodin. So when it enters the battlefield, you create a 2/2 creature. And then equip this to it. Equip creature gets +0/+1. And you can equip it for 1 and a white. That's fine. That's fine. I understand that, Brian. So, Gold Warden's Helm. Dag blaggit. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright. Next up, we have Hexplate Gliding Wings. For 3 and a white, artifact equipment. Or Mirrodin. So, I think I done went over this one. Anyway, no, I didn't. Equipped creature has flying. Equipped creatures you control have +1/+0. So it buffs all your equipped creatures and gives them +1/+0. And you equip this for 2 and a white. So with Dagblaggit, okay, you got one that does your defense and one does your attack with these two right here. Not bad. Next, I wish they do all these in English. Dagblaggit. Next, we have Jagged Glider, artifact creature, Prexian construct with flying. The 1/3 creature costs 1 and a white. Corrupted, and it has corrupted. So if your opponent has 3 poison counters, it gets whenever Jagged Glider attacks. The opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Creatures you control get +1/+1 to end a turn. Interesting. Might be a good card. I mean, it's a 1/3. It'll die to cut down. Next up, we got for 3 and a white, traditional assistant. Inconditionate assistant. The 3 and a white, Phyrexian cleric with toxic 1. When this card enters the battlefield, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with toxic 1, and this creature can't block. Okay. Another target permanent. Okay, let's say you got so you can return anything. So you got Portal down or Bankbuster down. You play this, you bounce those back to your hand and replay them and reset them. Pretty good. For 4. Okay, next up is another foreign language. Whoa. What did I just do? Rot Slicer. For 1 and a white, artifact equipment. Equip creature gets +2/+0. Whenever creature attacks, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with toxic 1. Yeah, can't block. Back to the top. Okay, now we got eliminated Leonin for 2 and a white cat rebel with ward 2. As long as eliminated Leonin is equipped, it has +1/+1. Plus whatever the equipment has. Not too. It's a 3/2. Not bad. Next up, Jawbone Justicar. 1 white. Phyrexian cleric with lifelink. 2/1 costs 1 and a white. And whenever another artifact creature enters the battlefield, Jawbone Justicar gets +1/+1 until end of turn. The 2/1. I can die pretty easy. You can buff it up for every turn that you can play multiple artifacts. It's okay. And lifelink helps, but you get killed easily. Next up, we got for 4 and a white equipment for Meriden. We got Mirand Bardich And it has 4 meridians, so it creates a 2/2 token. Every time a card says 4 meridian, it means you create a token when it comes onto the battlefield and equip the equipment to it. Alright, equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. Equip it for 3 and a white. Hmm. Eh, it's alright. I mean, at least it creates you a creature, so yeah, it's okay. Next up, we have another foreign. Orthodox agent for 3 and a white. Phyrexian cleric with vigilance. Orthodox agent gains +2 and +0 as long as you control 2 or more artifacts. Now, how hard is it to get the artifacts on the battlefield? Nowadays, it ain't hard at all in standard. Oh yeah, it's a 2/4. Has vigilance. Not bad. I think every one of these cards are going to be foreign. Next up, we have Planar Altercation for 1 and a white. Enchantment Aura. Enchant artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent can attack, block, and cannot activate its activated abilities. So it shuts planeswalkers down and locks a creature up so it can't attack or block. Yeah, anything like that I think is good. Okay, our next card. Find our next card. You have to click on every single card. Next one is Plate Shift. 3 white. So for 5, the instant affinity for artifacts. Creatures you control gain +2/+1 until end of turn. Okay. Not too bad. Ain't too bad at all for 5. Next up, we have Porcelain Sealot for 3 and a white. Phyrexian creature is a Phyrexian soldier. At the beginning of combat, target creature you control gains +1/+1 to end a turn. If that creature has toxic, it gets +2/+2 instead until end of turn. Ah, yeah, make your toxic creatures a little bit stronger. Yeah, it's a 2/3 or 4. Like the effect though. Sorry about all the scrolling, just this dang gone website. Alright. Next one. Bill of Assimilation for 1 and a white artifact. Whenever the Veil of Assimilation or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, target creature you control gains +1/+1 and vigilance until end of turn. Not bad. For 1 and a white. Next up is another equipment for 1 white. Worship Puff the Fanatic. Okay. That don't even look like a word. Anyway, it costs 1 white, enchantment or with flash. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gains +1/+1. And if your opponent has 3 poison counters, enchanted creature gains an additional +1/+0 and first strike. I like this one. Okay, now we're into some blue cards. And then black. And red. Okay, our first one, which is always foreign. For 1 white instant, Aspirant's Assassin. Target creature gains +1/+3 and gains flying and toxic until end of turn. Yeah, that sounds good. Pretty cheap. Okay. Next up, we have Taste the End. For 1 and a blue instant. Counter target spell unless the controller pays 2. Okay. That's pretty good. Now it has Corrupted. If opponent has 3, well, if opponent, I'll read it like it says. If opponent has 3, not 3, 3 or more poison counters, counter target spell instead. I think the little misspelled words there. But this is pretty good, I think. Hello, everybody. I'm not looking at chat. I'm sorry. I'm just reading these cards. Trying to learn some foreign language here. All right. Next up, we have Chrome Prowler for 2 and a blue. Phyrexian Cat with flash. The 2/2. And whenever a Chrome Prowler enters a battlefield, tap target creature opponent controls. That's pretty good. Alrighty. Next up, we have Distorted Curiosity. For 2 and a blue sorcery, draw 2 cards. Now, if your opponent has poison counters, 3 poison counters, This spell costs 2 less to cast. So if your opponent has 3 poison counters, you can pay, instead of paying the 3, you can pay just 1 blue and draw 2 cards. I like anything that draws cards. Next up, we got 1 in a blue. Experiment on the Run. Artifact creature Brexian Beast. The 2/1. And whenever equipment on the run attacks, target creature opponent controls gets -X, -0 until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Nice. That's a pretty good card, but it's weak, kinda, because it's a 2/1. Will die to cut down. Next up, we have an artifact for 3. Eye of Malcator. For 2 in a blue. Artifact when Eye of Malcator enters the battlefield, scry 2. And whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Eye of Malcator becomes a 4/4 Phyrexian Eye artifact creature token until end of turn. So it's an artifact that turns into a 4/4 creature. Yeah. Not bad. And you get to scry 2 when it first comes out. So it's a scry 2 for 3. And then whenever you play another artifact, it turns into a 4/4. Yeah. Karn will turn this on. Because he puts those Power Stone tokens out, which are artifacts. Alright, next up is Font of Progress. 1 blue artifact. Font of Progress enters the battlefield with 2 oil counters. Okay. Pay 3 and tap it. Target player mills X cards, where X is the number of oil counters on Font of Progress. Oh my god. That is a good mill card. Because with Populate being in the sets, you can keep putting the oil counters on this card, and the more oil counters you put on this card, the more your opponents mill. Not a bad card for mill. I agree. Some of these creatures are weak and will die to cut down. Okay. Next up, we have Gixiton Optimist. 3 in a blue, so 4. Phyrexian Wizard. When Gixion Optimus enters the battlefield, you may tap it. If you do, perforate. Good. That's good. I like this. It's a 2/5 creature for 4. Okay, next we have for 2 and a blue, Prexian Bird with flying, Gixian Raptor. Gixian Raptor enters a battlefield with 3 oil counters. Remove an oil counter from Gixian Raptor. Gixian Raptor gains +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay, the 1/4. Yeah. And you can remove more than one oil counter from it. So yeah, it can protect itself maybe one turn. Say 4, it's 5, 2. Yeah. So you remove one oil counter from it, it protects itself from cut down. Eh, it's okay. Okay, next up we have Iridescent Diviner for 1 blue. Creature Prexian Advisor to 0/3. Descent Divider enters the battlefield with 3 oil counters. Tap it and remove an oil counter from Iridescent Divider Scry 1. So this is a Scry card. Yeah, I like that. I like being able to, to scry, but dies are cut down. Next, we have Icor Sensibilizer for 1 and a blue. Phyrexian Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Icor Sensibilizer. When Icor Sensibilizer has 4 more oil counters on it, it gains +2/+0 and can't be blocked. And it's a 1/3, so it dies pretty easy. And it doesn't enter the battlefield with a oil counter on it. You have to cast a non-creature spell in order for it to get an oil counter. And you have to put 4 oil counters on it before it gets that +2/+0. But you can build it up pretty quick. So yeah, this is a pretty good card if you can get the 4 oil counters on it pretty quick. Next we have Malakar's Watchers, 1 and a blue, Phyrexian Drone with flying and vigilance. When Malakar's Watchers dies, draw a card. The 1/1. Yeah, it's a good draw effect. Be a good card to sack. Or, or use as a chump blocker. All right, next up is Meldweb Curator for 3 and a blue, Phyrexian Wizard. When Meldweb Curator enters a battlefield, put up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard top of your library. Reanimate for instants and sorceries. Not bad. the 3/4 creature. Yeah. It doesn't die to cut down. So yeah, that's a pretty good card for 4. 3/4 for 4. Next up, we have a vehicle. They still putting vehicles out. I didn't think they'd put any more vehicles out. Anyway, it's a 4 and a blue artifact vehicle. Meldweb Strider has vigilance. When Meldweb Striders enters a battlefield with 1 oil counter, remove an oil counter from Meldweb Strider. Meldweb Strider becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Crew for 3. So it becomes a creature for free 1 turn. Then after that, you have to crew it for 3. And it's a 5/5 vehicle. Yeah. And it costs 5 to bring out. 5/5 for 5. Yeah. Might be pretty good. Alright, next up we have pre-phase 2 prizes. For 1 and a blue instant, each opponent gains a poison counter. Draw a card. Nice. Good way to give your opponent poison counters. Next up, reject imperfection. Reject imperfection. 1 and 2 blues instant. Counter target spell if its converted mana cost of the spell is 3 or less, proliferate. This card, I don't see being good. Because, well, it might be good. Yeah, it might see some play. Next up, we have Serum Trap. 1 and a blue instant. Return target non-permanent to its owner's hand. If that permanent has converted mana cost 3 or less, proliferate. Yeah. At least it's a bounce spell. And you also have a chance to proliferate. Say you do a token, you proliferate. Okay. Okay, next up we have Tamio's Embolizer. 3 and a blue artifact. Tamio's Embolizer enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters. Tap it and remove an oil counter from Tamio's Embolizer. Tap target artifact or creature. Sounds just like Tamio, what Tamio does. So yeah. Pretty good. It's pretty good. High mana cost though, I think. Okay. Next we have Tamio's Notebook. For 2 and a blue artifact. Alright, for 5 and blue. Tap it and draw a card. This spell costs 1 less to activate for each other artifact you control. Okay, so it costs 5 in a blue. It gets cheaper for every artifact that you control. Hmm. Yeah, I can see it getting some play. Costs 2 in a blue to play the artifact. And you make it, and it costs 5 in a blue, and tap it to draw a card. Costs 1 less to activate for each other artifact you control, so it does not count itself. Yeah, I can see it might get some play. Alright, next up we have Transference Terrace. For 3 in a blue, artifact creature Prexian Artificer. For 4. 2/4. When Transference Terrace or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Then for 2, you can put target card in your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Yeah, it might be good. I think it'd be better if you put the card on top of your library instead of the bottom, though. Next, we have for 3 blue, 2 generics, 1 blue, Twaller Drake. The Prexian Drake with flying. And Twaller Drake enters the battlefield with 1 oil counter. Twaller Drake gains +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Twaller Drake. Okay, so it's a 1/1 when it enters the battlefield because it's a 0/0 creature. So then you cast more than 1 non-creature spell in the same turn that you play this. It's going to be kind of hard because this costs 3. Then for every spell you play, it gets +1/+1 because it gains the oil counter. It's okay. It's just okay. Next up is for 3. 2 generic, 1 blue. Oedicus Assistant. Another Prexian Artificer with Toxic 1. When Oedicus Assistant enters the battlefield, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/4 while Oedicus Assistant is on the battlefield. And this is a 2/3. So it will die to cut down. And you turn an artifact to a 4/4 creature. Not bad. It might be a pretty good card. It costs 3. The 2/3 for 3. I think it'll get some play. Next, we have Vizurgin's Insight with 3 blue sorcery. Draw 3 cards, perforate. Yeah. This might be good. For 5 mana, you get to proliferate and draw 3 cards. I mean, if it wasn't for the proliferate, this card would be useless. Next, watching your Sylvia for 4 blue. So for 6, Phyrexian Gorgon with flying. So watching your Ragzua, watching Lozora enters the battlefield with the oil counter. When watching your Zerd dies, draw a card for each oil counter on it. So if you have this, you proliferate, you get more oil counters on it, and for every oil counter on it, you get to draw a card when it dies. And this is a 4/4 for 6. Costs a little high on that, I think. Next up, we have a artifact creature. No, not an artifact. Picture makes it look like an artifact. Anyway, it's a drumming bird. 1 blue. Creature, Phyrexian bird, 4 with flying. And whenever Thunderbird deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. It's a 1/1 creature. Die too easy. Next, we have Ambulatory Construct for 2 and a black. Artifact creature, Phyrexian Construct. When Ambulatory Construct enters a battlefield, you may pay 2 life. If you do, target creature gains -1/-1 to end the turn. And this is a 3/2 creature. Not bad. I think I skipped some cards. Okay. Oh, I guess I didn't. All right, next, Annihilating Gaze for 1 black sorcery. As additional cost to cast this spell, pay 4 or sacrifice an artifact or creature. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Another planeswalker kill spell. It only costs 1 black. Not bad. Next up, we have a rat. Blackbelly rats. 1 and a black. Phyrexian rat. The toxic 1. And when black belly rat dies, proliferate. It's a 2/2. Not bad. Yeah, it's back. Next, what? Next up is Catawani Vermin for 2 and a black. Phyrexian rats with corrupted. Sacrifice an artiface or creature. Draw a card. Activate this only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, and only once per turn. So 1/4. What's an artiface? I know what an artifact is, but I never heard of artiface. Okay, now for 6 black, we have Cruel Venonarch, Phyrexian Cleric with Death Touch. When Cruel Venonarch enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who couldn't, you gain 4 life. 5/5. Not bad. For 6, it's a 5/5 for 6. Yeah, or is for it to be a 6/6 for 6. Next up, we have Cutthroat. Cutthroat Centurion for 2 and a black. Artifact creature, Phyrexian Warrior. Sacrifice another artifact or creature. Cutthroat Centurion gains +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once per turn. So you turn it's a 2/2, so you can turn it into a 4/4. But you cannot take it over 4/4. Unless you put counters on it. And then you can make it bigger. Next we have Drown in Icar. 1 and a black sorcery. Target creature gets -4 until end of turn. Proliferate. Nice. That's pretty good spot removal. Next we have, the famous duress. We already know what that does. So I ain't gonna read that. I like the artwork on it though. Next we have Feed the Infection for 3 and a black sorcery. Draw 3 cards and lose 3 life. Oh. It has Corrupted. Each opponent that has 3 or more poison counters loses 3 life. So, if your opponent has 3 poison counters, then you both lose 3 life. Next, we have Gaunt Gladiator for 1 and a black. Phyrexian Skeleton. It's a 2/2. And doesn't do nothing unless your opponent has 3 poison counters. Then you have to pay So if it dies, all right, it can come back to the come back to the battlefield tapped. But you have to pay 2 black and return Gauntlet Gladiator from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Lose 1 life. But you can only activate it if your opponent has 3 poison counters. So this is dead until your opponent gets 3 poison counters once it dies. It's a 2/2. As long as you can get those poison counters on your opponent, this is alright. Oh, pretty good card. It's 2/2 and you only lose 1 life to bring it back from the graveyard. Next we have Gobbler of Scraps for 4 and a black. Prexian Horror. When Gobbler of the Scraps enters the battlefield, proliferate to 4/4 or 5. Not bad. Next we have Infectious Inquiry. For 2 and a black sorcery. Draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Then each opponent gains a poison counter. Yeah, this is pretty good. I mean, you lose 2 life, but your opponent gets a poison counter. Yeah. Not bad. 1 life per card. Come on. Next we have Neurotic Communion for 1 and a black. Enchantment Aura. And enchanted creature you control, enchanted creature has Toxic 2. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control. So, yeah, you can only enchant creatures you control. What I was thinking about this, you can enchant your opponent's creature, kill it, and gain control of it. But you only enchant creatures you control. It'd be nice if you could take opponent's creatures like that. But anyway, it has, say you play, say Toxrill or Shahodrit. You cast this on them. They kill it. It comes right straight back to the battlefield. So not bad. Good protection card. Okay, we still got quite a bit to go. Next we have Mosquito, Necro Mosquito. 3 and a black for 0/0. With flying. Necro Mosquito enters the battlefield with 2 oil counters. Okay, Necro Mosquito gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. So it's a 2/2. And whenever another creature or artifact you control goes from the graveyard to the battlefield, put an oil counter on Necro Mosquito. Okay. That might be good. If you can have a way of bringing your artifacts from your graveyard to the battlefield. That would help this grow. So yeah, it might be alright. Okay, now we have for one in a black, instant, offer immortality. Target creature gains death touch and indestructible until end of turn. It's an instant, so that's a pretty good card there. It protects your creatures and kills your opponent's creatures because it gives your creatures death touch. As long as they don't have first strike. So yeah, it's pretty good. And for one in a black too, that ain't bad. Next we have Pestilent Extractor. For one in a black, Prexian insect with flying and toxic 1. It's a 1/1. It can be killed easily. Okay, next we have Ravenous Necro Titan for 2 black Prexian Horror. It's a 6/6 for 4. Okay, now it has Corrupted. When Ravenous Nutrition enters the battlefield, sacrifice a creature unless opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Okay, I wouldn't mind sacking a creature or a 6/6 creature that costs 4. Yeah, that ain't bad at all. I'll sacrifice a token for a 6/6 easily. Well, this corruption don't affect this card if you think about it. Next we have Prexian Advisor, Scheming Aspirant. For 1 in a black. Whenever you profilate, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Ho ho! Nice. Now this is going to really push profilate decks up. Now this is a 2/2 creature. But the card says 1/3. The writing says 2/2. So I really don't know. So it's either a 1/3 or a 2/2. But still, this text, whatever it is, it's good. Next, we have Sheholdred's Executioner for 3 generic, 1 black. Prexian Warrior with Menace and Toxic 2. It's a 2/4. Next, we have Swarm Hive Leader for 2 and a black. Prexian Witch. Haven't seen a witch in a while. Toxic 1. Whenever Swarm Hive Leader dies, create a 1/1 colorless Prexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. And of course, those mites cannot block. Next, we have Testament Bringer, 3 and a black. Prexian Warrior. When Testament Bringer dies, Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Good reanimator. And it costs 3 and they're black. It's a 4/1. They'll die pretty easy. Next, vacate the tank. 4 and a black sorcery. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Then proliferate. Oh yeah. Give me your Toxrill, or give me your Sahodrit. Or 5. So yeah, that's a pretty good card. I mean, you get to perforate and you get to steal a card. Yeah, I kind of like that. Reawakening tank. For 1 black artifact. Whenever an artifact or creature you control dies, put an oil counter on Reawakening tank. Then for 2 black, and this costs 1 black to bring into the battlefield. Then for 2 black, tap it, remove 4 oil counters from Reawakening tank. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, I mean, it's a good reanimator, but you gotta. It don't have any oil counters on it. So it works good if 1 artifact or creature dies, you can put 1 oil counter on it. Then what you'd want to do is do all those proflates, and then after you do all those proflates, you'll be able to build the counters up on it, and then return a creature to the battlefield. Unless you got a bunch of tokens. Next, we have Byron, Executioner Thane, for 1 and a black. Phyrexian Vampire. Whenever 1 of 4 other creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2. This ability only triggers once per turn, so your opponent can only lose 2 life per turn, and it's every time that 1 of your creatures dies. So it's kind of like a little mini meat hook, kinda. A good creature used with this is Jadar. It makes that zombie token with decay. Attack with the decayed zombie token. It dies. Then your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2. Because that token. Now, next up we have Vraska's Fall. For 2 in a black instant, each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and gets a poison counters. Nice. I mean, it's gets rid of a creature or planeswalker, and your opponent gains a poison counter. Pretty good. Next, we have Whispers of the Dross. For one black instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 to end a turn and proliferates. So yeah, that's pretty good. Just cause of the proliferate. Alrighty, that's the black. Now we got some red, a little bit more black. We're going in order though. Next is Awaken the Sleeper for 3 and a red sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. If it's equipped, you may destroy the equipment attached to that creature. Good way to destroy equipment and to do damage to your opponent. They cost 4, so you know they're going to have other creatures out. Next red one we have Azram Engraver. 1 in red Prexian Wizard. Azram Engraver enters the battlefield with the oil counter. Tap it, remove an oil counter from it. Discard a card and draw a card. Not bad. Next, we have a equipment for Meriden. So you create a 2/2 token for 1 in a red Spiked Fell Gauntlet. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. So you make that 2/2 token when you cast this, and you automatically equip the token with this, so it's a 3/3 token. Then the equip cost of this is 1. Next is a Bladehold Aspirant for 2 in a red Praxian Warrior with Menace. Equipped abilities cost 1 less to activate. Equipped abilities targeting Bladehold Aspirant cost 1 less to activate. Like that last equipment that we just looked at, it costs 0 to equip. Interesting. And this is a 2/3. Not bad, actually. Next, we have instance Burning Poultice for 1 in a red instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Yeah, that's a pretty good card because you got to the end of your next turn to play it. Hopefully, it's not a big card and cost a lot, and you have very little land. That'd be kind of bad. Other than that, it's a pretty good card. Next, we have Catastrophic Agitator for 1 red. It's a 1/1 creature. Phyrexian Troll Warrior. When Catastrophic Agitator deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, proliferate. Nah, it's okay. Next, we had Jimmy Throng with 3 in red. Phyrexian Troll Warrior with haste. Who enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red Phyrexian Troll creature token. Yeah, it's a 3/3. Not bad. Makes a token. Okay. Okay, next we have an artifact for 1 red, Deposit of Generation. Artifact, red, 1 red. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter on target non-token. Artifact, all creature you control. Way to keep art. That's a way to keep oil counters. And tap, pay 2, tap it, create a 1/1 red Phyrexian Troll creature token. Activate only if you remove the oil counter from a permanent you control this turn, or if a permanent the oil counter died under your control this turn. Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's a token generator. Next up, we had Forged Hammer Centurion. For 2 in a red, Phyrexian Warrior. Wherever another creature artifact you control dies, put an oil counter on. Forged Hammer Centurion. Whenever Forged Hammer Centurion attacks, you may remove 2 oil counters from it. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. Not bad. Next, we have Free from Flesh for 1 red instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 to end a turn and put 2 oil counters on it. Okay. That's pretty good. Where was I? I'm lost. We're almost done. Okay, next we have for 5. 4 generic, 1 red. Phyrexian Beast. Furnace Spider. Okay, Furnace Spider enters the battlefield with 2 oil counters. Remove an oil counter from Furnace Spider. Target creature you control gains haste to end a turn. Interesting. So you can do that 2 times unless you perforate. And this is a 4/5. 4/5. Not bad. But it's a Furnace Spider. Okay, how's it a Phyrexian Beast? You'd think it'd be a spider instead of a beast. Okay. 8 more. Oh, they released a lot of cards yesterday. Okay, for 1 red, a sorcery. Joyous Demolition. Sorcery. Destroy target artifact if you controlled that artifact. Create 3 1/1 red Phyrexian Troll creature tokens. Yeah, it's okay. Why would you want to destroy your artifact? I mean, that would be a have to case, but it's a sorcery. Yeah, that'd be a have to case and use them for chump blockers. Man, that's the only thing I would use it for. So it's okay. I mean, it's probably playable. It's just one of those cards like, whatever. Next, we have Byron Executioner Thane. 1 and a black. Legendary creature, Prexian Vampire. Whenever one or more other creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2. And this ability can only trigger once per turn. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's a 2/2. Next, we have Davron, Demise of the Massacre, for 3 black. So that's 5. Legendary creature, Prexian Horror. Okay, if a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers 1 more time. Then for black Prexian mana, exile 3 creature cards from your graveyard, put an indestructible counter on Garvoid Demolus of the Massacre. So yeah, that's pretty good actually, because you can give this indestructible. And also, it's a 8/3 for 5. Yeah, I like this card. I'd want 3 creatures in my graveyard so I could exile them. That way I can give this indestructible, and then once it has indestructible, it's pretty much unstoppable. Especially since Meat Hook is gone. Next, we have Zoprandrail Domas of Hunger for 5 green. Legendary creature Prexian Horror with reach. Then at the start of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of combat. Oh my. It's a good creature. And pay green Prexian mana, sacrifice 2 creatures, then put an indestructible counter on Temporal Demonus of Hunger. So it's another one of those indestructible creatures that costs 2 creatures. Yeah. For 7 mana, it's a 4/6 for 7. Not too bad. I mean, green does have a lot of tokens. But you got like Awaken the Woods makes land tokens, which are also creatures. So yeah, play Awaken the Woods. Next turn, play this. Turn after that, if this survives, pay the green, stack those tokens, boom, indestructible. So not a bad card. Okay, got 3 more red and 1 black. Okay, next up we have Zophenham, Demonus of Mayhem, for 2 red, legendary creature Prexian Horror. Okay, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls that deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead. So, with this one, this is another one of those indestructible creatures. This costs 2 red, the 5/4. You pay red Prexian mana. Discard 2 cards. Then you put an indestructible counter on Zafrael, Domains of Hunger. So, this one seems to be the easiest. The best one, because you don't use discard 2 cards that you don't want to put an indestructible counter on this. So not bad. It's a 5/4, and then the other effects of it, like let's say you pay a spell to do damage to your opponent. It deals 4. Like I can't even think of the name of that spell right off the hand. The one that where you hit your opponent, you get to scry 1. And while you play it, it deals 2 damage to your opponent. You play that, it's going to deal 4 damage to your opponent, and you get to scry 1. So yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good red card here. I think this is definitely going to see some play. All right, next red card for 5. 3 generics and 2 red enchantments. All will be 1. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, all will be 1 deals the same amount of damage to target opponent or target creature or planeswalker that opponent controls. Interesting. So your opponent gets 3 poison counters, they take 3 damage. Interesting. That's a pretty good enchantment. But it costs 5 to get it out. Since this is Prex and all will be 1, I figured they'd have that card, or a card named that. Alright, next we have a black card. The 1/1 creature with Death Touch, Toxic 1, and the name of it is Scatulent Grunaball Dwelling. With Death Touch, Toxic 1, it's a 1/1. A Death Touch helps it. Next up, we have an instant. That's actually English. What do you know? I'm so used to clicking on them that I done clicked on it. Bolt Charge for 2 and a red instant. Bolt Charge deals 3 damage to any target peripherate. Yeah, not bad. And if you have an all be 1 card out, this card will do 6 damage instead of 3. So yeah, I can see a red deck actually doing something. So, yeah. Now, I'm sorry this stream's nothing but spoilers. I was planning on playing some games, but it don't look like I'm going to be able to. There was a lot of spoilers. Okay, let's refresh and see. This is just from yesterday. Let's see if they put out any out for today. It don't look like it. Nope. I'm done refreshed 2 or 3 times and don't look like they spoiled any more cards. They might do it later though, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. And I shall be back this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Peace out, everybody. I'll see ya. And next time we will be playing some games, hopefully. Later. Y'all have you a good day. But first, before I end this stream, I want to read back on chat if I can find my dang gone phone, dang blanket. I can't find it. Dag it. I gotta lose my headboard and attach to my shoulders. Anyway, I'm sorry I didn't keep up with chat there and everybody.